know where you are, but all right, I guess we're ready to go. If you feel overwhelmed this morning, if you feel like there is just too much going on, if you are at the point to where just one more thing could put you in the crazy bin, today's message might actually help you. Because today we're going to look at another urban legend. And this one's a very common one. It goes like this: God will never give you more than you can handle. We're going to start out with the story of Moses in the Old Testament. And in fact, as you look at the life of Moses, I want you to see that more than once he was totally overwhelmed because there was too much going on in his life. You know, I can relate to this story. I really can. Moses was leading probably about 2 million people. And listen to what he says. And he's talking to God. Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me. Give us meat to eat. I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. It's too much, he says. I can't go on. I'm completely overwhelmed. This manna stuff you gave tastes like cardboard. Nobody wants to eat it. They hate it. God, can't you just send me 2 million quarter pounders? Because the burden is too heavy. Now, I can imagine a well-meaning Christian walking up to Moses and saying, "Oh, don't worry. It'll be okay. Don't give up. You can do it. Remember, God will never give you more than you can handle." You see that on a refrigerator magnet. You see it on bumper stickers. You see it on greeting cards over and over again. God will never give you more than you can handle. The problem? Scripture never says that. It's a spiritual myth. It's an urban legend. Now, where do we get it all messed up? It's easy enough to see. Look at this scripture that we often misquote. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will provide a way out. Nowhere does Scripture say God will never give you more than you can handle. He says He will never let you be tempted by the devil more than you can handle. In other words, He provided an escape route. The devil will never defeat you or destroy you by temptation. But you got to understand, when we are talking about the burdens of life, God will often let you have more than you can handle. We're going to call that the gift of too much. Just for a cute little outline I have for you. God often gives us the gift of too much stuff to do. Now, why would He do that? I thought He was a loving God. Well, I think part of that love is that He wants us to depend on something beside ourselves. Because, you know, this urban myth we're talking about today, that God will never give you more than you can handle, basically is saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Get it together, flex those muscles. If you work just a little bit harder, you can do it. It's the old American pioneer spirit. If we work hard enough, we can accomplish anything. But the truth of the Bible is that God will let us do too much. Just so we can learn to depend on other people around us, and also to depend on Him. Now, I want you to look at Moses again. This is another situation. Because Moses felt like a lot of you might be feeling right now. You can almost feel the panic. And remember now, he's talking to God. If this is how you're going to treat me, put me to death right now. And the Lord said to Moses, bring me 70 of Israel's elders, They will help you carry the burden of the people so that you will not have to carry it alone. Now, let me tell you this up front. We're going to kind of close with this, but you were not designed to do everything. You can't do everything. God won't give you too much, more than you can handle. Truth is, God will let you do anything you keep trying to do to yourself, just so you'll learn some valuable lessons. I have 3 of those lessons for you this morning, and I think they all fit us. Here's number 1. This God's gift of too much, it's going to teach us to put something down. It's going to teach us to prioritize. It's like you go to a great, fantastic banquet. You can't eat it all. So you have to pick the best and enjoy. If you have too much going on, God's going to expect you to put something. There's a classic story in Luke 10 of Jesus when he visited the home of Mary and Martha. Martha, if you knew her story, she could do anything. She thought she could have the house perfectly clean. She thought she could fix a whole table full of wonderful food, having it smelling good, getting out the best china to impress Jesus, and then she could spend time later with Jesus. But you know the story, she freaked out. Because like so many of us, she just got herself overwhelmed. And so she did, like a good sister. She blamed her sister. It was her fault. And Jesus sort of steps in between the 2 girls and he says, Martha, Martha, you're worried and upset about many things, but only one thing's needed. And Mary has chosen what's better. It's not going to be taken away from her. The gift of trying to do too much is going to teach you eventually to prioritize and decide what is the most important thing. I'll give you a tremendous leadership lesson here. Learn to say or instead of and. For example, most people say, I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do this, I can be a wife, I can be a mom, I can be a professional, I can be a soccer coach, and I can be this, and I can be that. Here's some good biblical advice. Learn to start saying or. I can do this, or I can do that. There's not a person in here today who can't get so much on their plate to where it will be eventually beyond your physical ability to fix it or to ever catch up. And even if you think you could do it, God never called you to do it. So who are you trying to please here? Instead of adding more to your to-do list, why don't you make I'm not going to do this list and start working on it for a while. Listen, I'm going to tell you, talk to somebody who's over 60 years old, who poured their life into their career and watched their children just come and go, and they missed it. They will tell you I should have learned to say or than and. Number 1, very simple. The gift of too much is going to teach you to put something down. Well, number 2, it's also going to teach you to hand something off, to delegate. Again, Moses, because Moses is one of the most overwhelmed people in the Bible. All these people are coming to him from morning to night, and they want advice. They want him to settle their arguments. They want him to give them counsel and direction. And Moses' life was falling apart because he thought he could do it. Because he had this on his refrigerator. God will never give me more than I can handle. And so every day he woke up thinking, surely I can handle 2 million people. Now Jethro, very smart father, He says, what you're doing is not good. You and these people, excuse me, who come to you will only wear yourself out. Work's too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. This will make your load lighter because they will share it with you. You'll be able to stand the strain and the people will go home satisfied. Here's Jethro's advice. Go find some men of integrity and have some of them oversee groups of 1,000. Have some of them oversee a group of 100, and others oversee a group of 50, and even down to a group of 10. In other words, Jethro says, we're going to spread all this out. These guys down here can't handle it. They'll kick it up a notch. They'll handle it. If they can't kick it up, it's to you, and you can handle it. Let me tell you, God often gives you the gift of too much. Number one, to teach you to put something down, but number two, to hand something off. You know what the problem is there? Pride. You ever been in the middle of a project and somebody comes along and says, hey, can I help you with that? And all of a sudden your tail feathers get ruffled. No, I can handle it. Thank you. You think you're the only person who can complete that project you're working on? Pride gets in the way. Hey, let me tell you, this goes further than physical work. A lot of people have trouble handing off emotional burdens. We want to be strong. What, me have a problem? No. We don't want anyone to know that we're overwhelmed. We're hurting. That's why a lot of people avoid small groups. Because they don't want to share their life with other people. There's a promise in the Bible that says where 2 or 3 people come together, God will be in their midst. And I got to tell you, with God being in your midst, that's a really good reason to find 2 or 3 other people you can fully trust and confide. Put something down, hand something off. Finally, the last piece of advice. Give something to God. You ever do something really stupid because somebody said you can't do it? I dare you do it. I mean, every parent here has tried this one. You're riding in your car. Your little kids are in the back seat. They're fighting, yelling, and poking each other's eyeballs out. And you say something like, I bet you can't keep your lips together for 50 miles. Some dum-dums say, sure I can. I can do anything. Hey, don't laugh. You fell for it once. Then about 2 miles down the road, they realize that they've been snookered a little bit. But now let me ask you now, as a grown person, what are you stubbornly holding on to because somebody has told you you can handle it by your own ability? What are you holding on to because you were taught that urban legend that says God will never give you more than you can bear? So now you think, I just have to grin and bear the load. No, God says, if you let me, I'll carry it for you. Psalms 55 says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. Hebrew word translated to cast is shalach. And it literally means throw, like a baseball. And so if you have a burden, you need, number one, to consider putting something down. And number two, handing something away to someone else beside you. Well, number three, just throw it. That's gone. God, it's more than I can handle. It's yours. You can take care of it. There have been several times in my life when I've had to say that because I had no choice. God, I can't handle this. You're going to have to take charge. Paul talks about this in one of his missionary journeys. He just says, we were under great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired even of life. Indeed, in our hearts, we felt the full sentence of death. But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God who raised the dead. Paul reached a point to where, in some kind of a situation, he really thought he was going to die. All of us have been under heavy burdens, but I don't know that many of us have been in a situation where we thought we were just about ready to die. But Paul says, looking back at it, it was a good thing because it taught me to depend on God. One more experience from Paul. Paul had a problem. He called it his thorn in his flesh. Honestly, we don't know what it was. Most scholars believe it was some type of eye issue, health issues. But 3 times he prayed to God to remove it. God said, nope. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Oh, that's so hard for us to understand. God's power is made full in our weakness. You just don't think about putting that on your resume. I'm weak. And I used to think I have to be strong for my wife. I have to be strong for my kids. I have to be strong for the church. I have to be strong for my friends. And the truth is, ultimately, I have to be weak. I have to be broken. Every day I have to say, God, I can't get this. It's not working. It's not coming together. You're going to have to deal with it. But Satan wants you to believe an urban legend that simply says God would never give you more stuff in your life than you could ever deal with. It's a legend. It's a myth. God will let you do whatever you want to do to yourself just to teach you some things about it. Some of you need to put it down. Get rid of it. Some of you need to delegate it to some close friends. Some of you just simply need to come to God finally in weakness and admit you don't put it all together. God doesn't give problems and burdens to people. Truth is, we make them ourselves. But God's promise is that He will be there for us to share these burdens, these discomforts, frustration. But you got to distinguish truth from the lie. God does indeed allow us to take on some fun. So He's given us a way out of that. So I hope that's something that we'll all learn from today. I ask you to stand here.